let's touch base quickly with Aston Villa and Manchester United. And the big question is, like you mentioned Manchester United right there. I want to ask you, are they back? And Carrick, what is that big thing that he has done that has changed things at Old Trafford? Or have you watched this movie before?
I think he has brought belief to that team. He has put players where I've always stated it. When a coach is stubborn, you come in, you don't want to change, you just want to be, it's my way or the highway. Nobody achieves anything with that kind of mentality. You saw players that were practically struggling. You had players like Mino, who are exceptional players, but couldn't fit into Amorim's two center mid formation. So you had players there. Were just underperforming. Not that they were bad players, but they weren't used to their system. So Carrick is a player's player, a player's coach. Someone that comes in and the players will go and fight and die based on his philosophy, and it makes things simple. Manchester United, the hallmark of Manchester United has always been, over the years, we've known Manchester United for being, youth from the academy and also playing wide, expansive football from the wings. This man has brought a counter-attacking football. He has brought it where things are simple and he plays, things go. My only issue that I find very amusing is Casemiro coming out to say, hey, I'm going to be leaving. This is the end of this season. The way I look at it is this: you're going to be losing. If I were in the Manchester United hierarchy, I would have extended his contract by 1 year, reduced wages, and make him not be, this full-time player, but also buy a replacement, but gradually integrate that replacement to take over that position. Because with what we've seen so far, the moment Casemiro leaves the field, there is a big, huge gap for Manchester United, where they are always struggling, failing to keep leads. And now this man is going for next season as a build towards for next season. So again, it could be, it's not, I don't think it's a manager's bounce. I think tactically, the players are playing to their best possible positions, and there are players that are gaining more with Carrick than how they were with Amorim. The players seem to have a sense of balance now, sense of belief, and they've hit the form and top down.
I hear you, Nimi, and just on Casemiro right there, the United have not been in the Champions League for a few years, and in the way football is right now, if you don't play Champions League for a few years, you start having issues financially. And Casemiro is one of the biggest earners in United, so they probably would have looked at it business-wise, and I don't know if he's going to accept a reduced wage like you mentioned, because you don't forget that Saudi Arabia is there and they're making their offer. So it looks like, more like, for me, he wants to leave because United will never be able to pay him what he will get in Saudi Arabia. So maybe that's what the case is here. And it's better for them to start, just like you talked about City earlier on, it's better for them to start rebuilding now and know what they have and start working on it than to rely on Casemiro and then next season he leaves. So, Ugo, I don't know, you've watched United 3 games now. They've won 3 massive games, beat City, beat Arsenal, and today, a Fulham team that is also resurgent. We know that technically under Marco Silva are very good. They came back and won that game as well today. And I don't know, it might look like money might that bounce, but these are not things. Well, the thing that is worrying me as a rival fan is that I'm seeing attributes of a Fergie team in this team. Not because these players are as good as those players Fergie had, but this is, like Nimi mentioned, he brought back the United way of playing and doing things. And when you have a culture uplifts people, and it looks like he has brought back that United way, which probably is going to maybe go further than a manager's bounce. I don't know what he has seen so far.
Yeah, I don't see that. He's not a new manager. He's been there before, right? I think he just restored, exactly like you said, the culture. But it's I'm not afraid of that culture, right? This particular United team, and they are not a winning team. They are not a perennial multiple winning team. You would say, oh, they go back to culture and then they will maintain that consistency throughout. The squad is not good enough to be that consistent. Yeah, today Fulham were very unlucky. United are resurgent, no doubt. All he did was to simplify stuff, get them to play quicker, and just put the round pegs and round holes. Get them to play their specialist positions, and maybe bring in Mino, give him confidence. So yeah, team is playing well. They have talented players from Armand Traore to the both Konha and Burmo that they bought, and Sesko. Arsenal were after Sesko for majority of the last summer. So Sesko is not a bad player, And like Nimi said, Casemiro is an old warhorse, very experienced player. The likes of Maguire that were sidelined by Amorim. Maguire, we know, is a dependable Premier League player, defender, any day, anywhere, any team. Right. So he knows the league. He knows what it takes to win games in the league. So, yeah, the United are not as bad, but they're not, good enough. The squad is not good enough to contend at the moment. So they will win games. They will win more games than they will lose, especially with people playing in their positions. But, I don't think it's just a bounce that will fizzle out. But they are going to lose any moment from now. They will draw points any moment from now, because that's what happens when the squad isn't, good enough or big enough to.
Yeah. So, Uche, as a rival fan, are you worried about United? And if yes, why? If not, why? And second, like Nimi mentioned, sometimes in football, I always use this quote. There's a player that called Angel. He used to play for Aston Villa so many years ago. In an interview, he said that the truth about football is that there's no truth in football. When you win, you're the best. When you lose, you are the worst. If you watch that information, if you watch this game critically, tactically today, you will know that United took their chances, yes, but Fulham, we are tactically in control of that game, especially in the second half. And almost we are supposed to win that game or at least get a draw out of it, especially after Casemiro was substituted. But somehow they were stupid at the back at a very critical time in that game, and Sesko took that goal and took it very well. So it now makes you look at, okay, United are so if you didn't watch the game and you just read up something that United won and Man City won Arsenal and beat Fulham today, you will say, yeah, everything is good. So I don't know, from that eye, do you think United are really that good, and are you worried about them as a rival fan?
I like your backdrop. However, it has a tendency to taint my opinion. So I'm going to speak without your backdrop. Okay. Now, Man City game and Manchester and Arsenal game was I had two questions I wrote down, and one, manager's bounce, two, the old DNA of the club coming back. That was a question I've been asking myself for days. I rewatched the game today for Fulham, and that does not really tell the story. So I'm going to differ with Odun here, because I don't think it's just simplifying things. Very few clubs have shot against Arsenal from outside the box consistently like Manchester United did against us. That means someone has sat down, analyzed the game, and saw that, hey, Raya might be a good goalkeeper when he's expecting the shot to come in. But when he doesn't expect it, we don't know. And watch all the goals. Boom! Those shots were not expected, and they caught Raya off guard. And sorry to say, they were fantastic shots still. Okay? So for Man City game and Arsenal game, if I was watching as a neutral, I wouldn't say that this is a rookie manager. I'll say this is a manager that has done his homework, brought the belief and the DNA of the club from the old coach they respected, and the players are responding positively to that. From the Fulham game, it's been to show that, I don't think I can trust you yet. You've not fully understood what Carrick is trying to pass across. So those two games, totally different from what happened at Fulham. Because from Arsenal, you could see that Manchester United was in control of every aspect of the game. Let me explain what I mean. It felt like Arsenal had the ball, but Man U was never perturbed during those having of the ball. They knew what they wanted to do. They were compact, and they played their position with hunger, with zest, and with a whole lot of, I love to use the word of man like Ify, grit and tenacity. They did that. So I will give kudos to Carrick there. He has brought back that same, if you can't fight for the team, don't play for the team, Ferguson's kind of ideology. But now this is the part why I will now support what Odun said. I don't believe from watching Fulham that it can keep going on that way. It might be depth of the squad, it might be different reasons, but they've shown me now that from today's game, like, okay, if a team is equally prepared to stick to their philosophy, Man U will crumble. For Arsenal, there was a bit of, we need to win this game, we don't need to lose this game. So that nervousness, that nerve played into the game. Now, one more thing, then I'll pass it on to you. About players, I love the fact that Maino came back in, because the truth is, who was better than him in what he's doing for the meantime? He's young, but he's composed. So why put him on the bench?
I was praying that they keep making him unhappy so that he can leave and maybe come to Arsenal.
100%. I think that's a good prayer. Now, Seth Cunha, fantastic technique, striking of the ball, great. Bruno Fernandes, I know everyone we call him, he mourns a lot. Yes, I think he's a crybaby, but he's a fantastic crybaby. I would like to have that crybaby. He's a good player. He works hard. He wants to win every single game. So I think Manchester United should be happy with what they have. That's what I will close with. They should be happy with what they have. They have a good coach, someone that believes, someone that is cool-headed. He could read the game pragmatically and make changes. So, but I don't see them taking it all the way.
Okay, so you're not worried about them. So that's the summary of all you have said. They are good enough, but you're not really worried as a rival fan.
Yeah.
Watch